All right, let's take a brief look at some intangible assets. Our first question here says, which of the following is not considered an intangible asset? Well, hopefully this question won't cause you any trouble. So if we're going to do a process of elimination, we need to determine what is an intangible asset. So goodwill is an intangible asset. Therefore, we're going to put an X by it. What about an oil well? An oil well is very much a tangible asset. We will use the process of depletion rather than amortization or depreciation. So this is going to be our answer. Franchise or franchise rights, more specifically, are intangible, as is a patent. Okay, we may have some paperwork for the patent, but that is the actual asset itself, is the right to produce something, and so that is an intangible asset. So an oil well is a correct answer. Hopefully everybody knew that one immediately. All right, another easy question here. Hopefully, given the following account balances at year end, compute the total intangible assets on the balance sheet for Janssen Enterprises. Cash, $1.5 million. No. Cash is a tangible asset. It's also a current asset, and to be an intangible asset, it has to be non-current. Let's see here. Accounts receivable is a current asset. No. Trademarks. Yes. Goodwill. Yes. Research and development costs. No. Research and development costs are expensed as incurred. So let's see, we have check marks by these two numbers here. I'm not going to break out the calculator for such an easy calculation. Our answer is $3,700,000. Last question says the cost of an intangible asset with an indefinite life should, indefinite life, amortized over 20 years, be amortized over the life of the creator plus 70 years. That sounds like a copyright. Not be amortized, and none of these answer choices is correct. So here we have a patent. Here we have a copyright. Our correct answer is C. If we can't establish the useful life of the asset, we can't very well do a good job of amortizing it. Let's see here. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Let's look at some more multiple choice questions. It says, if a company incurs legal costs in successfully defending its patent, these costs are recorded by increasing what? Legal expense, intangible loss on account, the patent account, a revenue expenditure account. So if you watch the video PowerPoint presentation, this was not in there. But I also gave you a second PowerPoint presentation, and it is in there. So if we successfully defend the patent, in other words, we're sued and we defend the patent, we're going to add that cost to the patent account. Now, we might actually do a countersuit on this to get back our legal fees, and if we do, then that's not what happens. But if we just defend it, say we spend $100,000 defending the patent and we win, we add that to the cost of the patent, and we adjust our amortization of the patent. If we would have been unsuccessful rather than successful, we would have actually just expensed that as a legal expense. All right. Says here, in recording the acquisition cost of an entire business, So this is definitely a question about goodwill, looks like. It says goodwill is recorded as the excess of cost over the fair value of the identifiable net assets. That sounds right. Let's keep going. Assets are recorded. No. Goodwill, if it exists, is never recorded. It's never amortized. So C is wrong. Goodwill is recorded as the excess of cost over the book value of identifiable net assets. Okay, so we've got two choices here, B and C, that are wrong, and so we need to determine is it A or is it D? Goodwill is recorded as the excess of cost over the fair value of identifiable assets or over the book value of identifiable assets. In this case, we're going to use the fair value. Very easy to get tripped up on that. Okay, so that is our answer. And looks like we have a little matching exercise. Finish this up. And looks like one multiple choice question too. It says, indicate in the spaces below the section of the balance sheet where the following items are reported. Use the following code to identify your answer. So PP&E is property, plant, and equipment. Intangibles, I, O, other, and not applicable for not on the balance sheet. Okay, so goodwill. We had this in a multiple choice question. That is an intangible asset. Okay. Land improvements. Okay. Now, land is not depreciated, but land improvements can be depreciated. And whether we are talking about land or land improvements, they are a part of PP&E, property, plant, and equipment. Buildings are also property, so PP&E. Accumulated depreciation. Now, this is a contra account. It is not an asset. It is an adjustment to property, plant, and equipment assets. Therefore, it is also located in the property, plant, and equipment section of the balance sheet. Trademarks. These are intangible assets. Research and development costs. We learned from a recent multiple choice question that these are expensed as incurred. So they are not found on the balance sheet at all. Land, I already told you, I already gave this answer away, is PP&E. Hopefully you knew that anyway. Franchises, those are rights, so that's an intangible asset. Licenses are also the rights to do something, intangible assets, and then equipment, PP&E. Okay, one last question so we can say that we covered it. It says, what does that say? Smickeldink Company plans to extract 40 tons of iron ore per year from a mine for which it currently holds mining rights. Company management estimates that the mine holds roughly 280 tons of ore to be extracted over a period of 7 years. The process by which the cost of extracted ore is allocated is referred to as allocation, amortization, depletion, depreciation. Okay, so all three of these, amortization, depletion, and depreciation, are forms of cost allocation. But since we're dealing with a natural resource, our answer here, as you probably already know, is depletion. All right, that's it for this chapter. Good luck.